Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are watching this video right now. I'm Simon Preston, and welcome back to Reggae Boys Commentary. This is the platform where we discuss Jamaican football, your hub for everything Jamaican football related. How is everybody doing? I hope you all are doing well. How's your Sunday going? How's your weekend been progressing as well? Really looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say. How is everybody doing? I look forward to seeing the comments as well. Where are you guys watching this video from today? The city and the state, or the city and the province, or the parish and the country that you're in, or the city and the county or borough that you're in right now? Do let us know your thoughts in the comments below as well. Where are you watching this video from? What are you up to at this point in time? And we look forward to be able to get more from you all in this discussion. A reminder, like, share, subscribe as well, so that we can continue this discussion. As usual, within the first 2 to 5 minutes of a video, you very well know that I go straight to the point of things. That is a consistency that you would have seen that I have since 2016, since you started seeing videos on this platform, and we will continue. All right, so let's go right ahead, shall we? Okay, so it's July 7th, Sunday, July 7th. And quite recently, as you've seen the lives that I've been doing, I've spoken about what lies ahead. Because just like everything else in life, what you do today affects down the road. If you're going to eat ice cream 7 days a week, turn that to 14 days a week, turn that to 21 days, to 28 days. If you eat ice cream every day for the month, look what's going to happen to you at the end of the month. If you eat vegetables and limit your carbohydrates every day for a month, look what is going to happen to you at the end of the month or going into the next month. And similarly with football now, look what happens, what you do now, look at the result, what happens in the future. I've always said this, and I'm going to say this one more time. What we do in the past affects the present, and what we do now affects the future. And I'm going to make a brief story before going into this point. February 6, 1958, Manchester United had a plane crash. It was the Air Munich disaster. And as I'm sure that you all are aware, we could have had a Jamaican on that flight, and that was Lindy De La Pena. However, during that transfer window, Lindy De La Pena was convinced by his girlfriend, who later went on to be his wife, not to join Manchester United. She had a bad feeling about him going to Manchester. It wasn't a feeling that she was feeling. Of course, Lindy De La Pena wanted to go. You know, he'd be joining the champions of England and competing for the European Cup. During this period of time, he was at Middlesbrough, scoring goals for fun, already a person that won league titles at Portsmouth, and the opportunity came to join Manchester United. And as we know, it didn't happen. So why am I sharing this story? What relevance does this have to Jamaica? Well, let me go right to that point. After the Air Munich disaster, many Manchester United players lost their lives. Many didn't even play football again. From those that were on the plane that actually went on to play for the club again, Bobby Charlton, Billy Foulkes, Harry Gregg, the goalkeeper. Those are 3 players that survived the disaster, but actually went on to play post that. Manchester United didn't play for several weeks because of this, as numerous players died. There was a decision that was taken to actually shut down Manchester United. Matt Busby wasn't doing well. So what happened? Jimmy Murphy was the head trainer, and Jimmy Murphy says that we cannot shut down this club, because how we are in the future is based on how we behave today. And it is as simple as that. How Manchester United are today are based on the actions that took place in 1958 by ensuring that the club still exists. Who knows what would have happened if Manchester United did not exist? We would not have seen the 3 European Cups. Manchester United would not be revered as one of the darlings of European football, because they wouldn't exist. So similar now with Jamaica, how we act today affects how we are in the future. And all that all stems with the ranking, the same ranking that we're about to discuss right now. Right now. Results affect points, both in FIFA rankings and also the CONCACAF Rankings Index. Jamaica is one of the highest seeded teams in the CONCACAF Nations League that commences in September, the 2024-2025 season of the CONCACAF Nations League. Jamaica is going to take on teams that are ranked below them, not only in FIFA rankings, but also in the CONCACAF Rankings Index. Cuba, Honduras twice, and Nicaragua. All four of those matches will be against teams that are ranked below Jamaica. And that is why the results are so important. And that is why 10 to 12 points in those four matches are incredibly important to the future of Jamaican football. Why are these group stage results so important? Why are these results definitive of Jamaica's football future? Why do the results of these four games determine our future? Determine if we go to a World Cup in 2026? Determine if we're going to continue to be ranked where we are in CONCACAF and in the world? Why does it determine the future that we have? Well, it's as simple as this. A victory over the British Virgin Islands and a Guatemala victory over the Dominican Republic confirms Jamaica's passage into the third round of the World Cup qualifiers. Now, let me say this. For the third round of the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers, the FIFA rankings will be used as the seedings for this. And right now, when you look at the FIFA rankings, let's start with that first. When you look at the FIFA rankings right now, you have Panama at number 43 in the world. You have Costa Rica at number 52 in the world, and you have Jamaica at number 53. What does that tell you? It tells you that Jamaica is third in CONCACAF by virtue of the teams that are in World Cup qualifying. You're on this platform because you want to learn. You're on this platform because you want to see Jamaica continue to grow and improve. You're on this platform because you want to see continuous growth, continuous improvement, continuous great things happening. So, we have the pen, we have a piece of paper, and now I'm going to explain to you how this process would work. In the final round of World Cup qualifying, you're going to have a group, you're going to have a draw, you're going to have seeds. And as we stand right now, Jamaica are the number 3 seed in CONCACAF. Right now, if a draw was to take place for the third round of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying, these are the pots, and these are exactly what the seedings would be like. Pot 1 would feature Panama, Costa Rica, Jamaica. Pot 2 would feature Honduras, El Salvador, Haiti. Pot 3 would have Curacao, Trinidad and Tobago, Guatemala. And pot 4 would have Nicaragua, Suriname, and St. Kitts and Nevis. If we're going strictly by using the FIFA rankings right now for the third and final round of World Cup qualifying, Jamaica would avoid Panama and Costa Rica in the group stages, and Jamaica would face a team from pot 2, a team from pot 3, and also a team from pot 4. So Jamaica would face one of Honduras, El Salvador, or Haiti, one of those teams. One team from pot 3, which would be one of Curacao, Trinidad, or Guatemala. and one team from Pot 4, Nicaragua, Suriname, and St. Kitts and Nevis. Based on the simulations, you have a group with Jamaica, El Salvador, Trinidad and Tobago, and Suriname. Those based on just pure simulations. I know persons are in the comments, and I want you to continue commenting, and I want you to continue leaving your thoughts. But I just really want to stress this point before I engage the comments, that what you do now affects the future, and what you did in the past affects now. There have been so many times that persons have said, but Simon, we finished third in the Nations League. Why are we again playing in the group stages of the Nations League? Simon, why? Again, what you do in the past affects the present. What you do in the past affects the present. And what you do in the present affects the future. Remember, we played one season in League B of the Nations League, right? Remember, that was 2019. Remember, we also fell 2-0 to El Salvador in March of that calendar year as well. What you do in the past affects the present, and what you do in the present affects the future. So these 4 games, 2 in September and 2 in October, they define our future. They define the type of group that we would have in the third round. They define exactly the sort of group that we'll have in the third round of World Cup qualifying. We're ranked 5th. We'll start with the FIFA rankings. We're ranked 53rd in the world. Costa Rica 52nd, Canada 48th, Panama 43rd, Mexico 15th, and the United States number 11 in the world. This is the latest FIFA ranking as of June 20, 2024. The next edition of the FIFA rankings is slated to be released on July 17. That's in 10 days from now. FIFA rankings are normally released on a Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, thereabouts, so that everybody is aware. The CONCACAF Ranking Index. Jamaica is 6th. When the draw was made for the 2024-2025 edition of the CONCACAF Nations League, Jamaica was ranked 5th in CONCACAF. Jamaica are presently 6th. And again, persons would say, but Simon, we beat Canada. But Simon, we beat Panama. But Simon, we finished 3rd in the Nations League. No. It's not your result in the last edition of a Nations League or the last performance in a tournament or because we went to the semi-finals of the Gold Cup last year. It's based on how you are in rankings. For World Cup qualifying, the FIFA rankings for World Cup qualifying, and for CONCACAF specific competitions such as the Nations League, such as the Gold Cup, it will be the CONCACAF Rankings Index that defines all of this. So that is exactly why these next 4 games are hugely important to our history. These 4 games determine so much for us. These 4 games must not be neglected. I don't want anybody say, but a Cuba we are play, but a Nicaragua we are play. Soup! No. 10 to 12 points in these 4 games, and that will be pretty much enough to ensure that we'll remain the top 3 in CONCACAF for those competing in World Cup qualifying. Yes, of course, you have a November window and you have a March window as well. But these results are incredibly important. Giving Honduras, Nicaragua, or Cuba even a sniff of the points is something that we need to avoid. We cannot allow that to happen. We cannot. And that is exactly why beating Cuba at home, beating Honduras away, beating Nicaragua, beating Honduras at home, 12 points. 12 points. Jamaica 6th in the latest edition of the CONCACAF Rankings Index. Jamaica 1,636 points. just 14 points behind Costa Rica. As we know, Costa Rica had that sensational draw against Brazil in the Copa America. So we have the ability to overtake them in a window because Costa Rica has Guatemala to play, and it's a game that can go either way in that scenario. Jamaica, just a shade over 100 points behind Panama, and about 119 points behind the Canadians. So the gap is getting narrow and narrow and narrow. If you compare what it was this time last year to presently, the gap between third and sixth has truly narrowed, truly condensed. And I know you might be wondering, Simon, what is the gap between the teams behind Jamaica now? Well, of course, Jamaica being sixth in CONCACAF Rankings Index. The seventh team in CONCACAF Rankings Index would be Honduras. And Honduras presently have 1,455 points. So they are about 100 and Jamaica is almost 200 points above the Honduran team. Jamaica has 211 points over Haiti. Guatemala, they're ninth in the index, 1,392 points. And Trinidad and Tobago rounds out the top 10 with 1,333. Jamaica, in the CONCACAF Nations League, will face Honduras twice, home and away. Jamaica will face Cuba, who are 15th in the CONCACAF Rankings Index, and Jamaica will face Nicaragua, who are 14th in the CONCACAF Rankings Index. Hopefully this provides clarity to everybody why these games, September and October, define our future. I painted a scenario for you of what the groups could be like based on seedings right now, because we want to be a pot one team. We want to be seeded in pot one. We want to be a team that is seeded in pot one. Because once you're a team that is not seeded in pot one, then you are guaranteeing yourself to face one of Panama and Costa Rica, or whoever that third team is, maybe Honduras. That is why it is incredibly important to put ourselves in pot one, to avoid Panama, to avoid Costa Rica, to qualify for the World Cup, to create memories, and to do what Morocco did in Qatar. Why not? Or what South Korea did in 2002. Why not? Beat Poland, beat Portugal, beat Italy, beat Spain on your way to finishing fourth in the World Cup. Or what Turkey did in 2002. Why not? Or what Ukraine did in 2006. Why not? Or what Uruguay did in the 2010 World Cup. Why not? Or what the Dutch did in the 2014 World Cup. Why not? Or what England did in the 2018 World Cup. Why not? Or what Croatia did in 98. Why not? Or what Bulgaria did, or Bulgaria or Sweden did in 94. Why not? Or what Ireland did in 1990. Why not? Do you get the point? Do you get the picture of what I'm saying? Or what Algeria did in the 80s. Why not? Or what the Dutch did in the 70s. Why not? Or what England did in 66. Why not? Or Brazil did in the 50s. Why not? Or what the Italians did in the 30s. Why not? Why not? Because we're so capable of doing it. Treat this with importance. Treat this with importance. Everybody watching this video right now. And again, ask yourself, how am I going to play a role on that journey? The match against Cuba is September 6th. We are 2 months away, 8 weeks. Have you made your arrangements? It's a Friday evening. It's a Friday. What arrangements have you made? Are you ready? Or for the home game on October 14 against Honduras? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because it is about time. It truly is. So don't brush that aside. I'm going to take some comments now. Damon Anthe says, big up every time. Big up Jamaica's national treasure, Simon Preston. Thank you. RR says testing. Leroy Bailey says blessings. Indeed, Mr. Galaxy. Mr. Galaxy says Waterloo, Canada. Okay. I'm so sure it's heal Simon Preston. Heal. Sorry says I have polio. Okay. Ty says blessing Simon. Jason Guna says bless Simon, bless. Football Global says bless. Football Global, all FIFA windows are essentially going to be occupied all the way up to 2026. So there's no opportunity to arrange friendlies inside the FIFA window. Think about it. September, October, November, March 2025. Those FIFA windows are for the CONCACAF Nations League. We'll have World Cup qualifying June 2025 and a Gold Cup after that. And then September, October, November 2025, it's World Cup qualifying. So realistically speaking, March 2026 is the only FIFA window that will be available for friendlies, because FIFA 2020, the March 2026 FIFA window is for the intercontinental playoffs. So that realistically is the only FIFA window, unless we're going to qualify through the intercontinental playoff route. And of course, June, July is the World Cup. So if we're arranging friendly matches, it would be outside of the FIFA window, just like what we did against Trinidad and Tobago, February, March, thereabouts. Outside of the FIFA window, the friendlies inside the FIFA window, it's really close to impossible in that sense. Yes, Trebon, we know about in terms of having players who apply their trade in the Jamaica Premier League and exporting their talent. It does make a massive help once Jamaica is high in the FIFA rankings, 100%. And for many times we've spoken about this. We know about Omar Daly and his trial at Everton and how he was trading with Wayne Rooney, and Wayne Rooney defined him as the Caribbean Ronaldo at the time. And Wayne Rooney was expressing how Omar Daly was as an individual and as a player. And I think it was a work permit why Omar Daly didn't end up signing for Everton. You know, no secret about how well he did on that loan. Rudy Austin, we know the situation with Stoke City. He could have been a Stoke City player, but it work permit. But I know many players you could talk to about that, numerous Jamaicans. So yes, the FIFA ranking is incredibly important, and that is why positive results come September is so important. Getting those 6 points, beating Cuba at home, beating Honduras away, important. We have defeated Honduras away, and everybody remembers that quite well. In 2021, that 2-0 victory, goals from Kemar Roof, and of course from O'Neill Fisher as well. So getting a 2-0 victory, keeping a clean sheet on Central American soil, yeah, truly was something special, you know. And I must say that it was one of the most satisfying wins we've had on Central American soil. The 3-0 over El Salvador was also satisfying as well. The 2-0 over Nicaragua in 2015 was also satisfying as well. And I must say, defeating Guatemala 4-2 in 1999 was also a satisfying one as well. So great to be able for us to get results on Central American soil. Truly is something special and great, you know. So that's what I'll say there. Let me continue on with the comments so that everybody is involved with everything here. Football Global, again, I'm not sure what you are reading into, but I'm speaking to persons watching this video, you, the fans, the audience, Jamaican football enthusiasts, about the importance of this, because I've seen many comments about not suggesting importance to this Nations League, but this Nations League is incredibly important for the reason I've explained for the last 22 minutes. It is as simple as that. Well, Deca 2K, that comment that you've made is actually incorrect, because this calendar year we've done things that we haven't done in a long time. We've won our first medal in 7 years. The last time Jamaica actually walked home with a medal in any competition, which would have been the Gold Cup in 2017. But since then, we picked up our first medal, and that was the bronze medal in the CONCACAF Nations League in 2024. So we've done something that we've never done before: semifinals in the Gold Cup for the first time since 2019, and of course, third Copa America appearance, scoring our first goal in the Copa America as well. So there you go. Again, Football Global, let me reiterate the point that what you do in the past affects the present. It all started in 2002 when the United States advanced to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. In 2002, the United States defeated Portugal 3-2 Yep, the same Portugal with Rui Costa, Luis Figo, Sergio Conceição, Victor Baia, Paulo Bento, and company. That's where it all started with the United States climb from a team being ranked in the 30s into the 20s into eventually they've been in the 10s before as well. And how could we forget the run in the Confederations Cup final in 2009? So again, what you do in the past affects the present because you get big points, okay? Because the United States have won medals in FIFA tournaments as well. And the United States have defeated teams that have been highly ranked, such as Spain, ending their run as well. So again, what you do in the past affects the present. What you do in the present affects the future. So that is why we need 12 points here, so that we make our future bright and bright and bright, just like it is right now. You'll see how it walters. We'll qualify for the World Cup. Remember, at the end of the day, football is a very simple game. I score more goals than you, I win. So it is a results-driven industry. It's not about, oh, this is pretty or this is not pretty. Looks is not the determinant of winning football matches. Goals are. And if I score more goals than you, I win. Many people are so captivated and infatuated by what Barcelona did 2008 to 2013 and just feel like this is the way that Jamaica should play. No. The Spanish left Jamaica in 1655. There's no remnants that we have with us that is Spanish apart from surnames of some people and names of towns and villages in the island and a few artifacts in Spanish town. True culture, is that a statement? Is that a question? I don't understand. Absolutely, Mr. Galaxy. You know the law of attraction. You think positive, great things happen, and it is as simple as that. When it says, hey, Simon, and everyone in chat, good evening. Good evening. How are you? Hope you're well. Mr. Galaxy says, 4 wins and no less. Well said. Alien Brahma says, watching this video from Trinidad and Tobago, looking forward to the show. Thanks very much. I appreciate it. When this is still positive, we'll get it done. Absolutely. How do you get points in the FIFA thing? FIFA rankings or the CONCACAF Ranking Index, Ron Rush Sports? Which one? Really? Says who? Football Global, this platform is accuracy, reliability, credibility, and positivity. This is not speculation. Florentina says, bro is yapping. Yapping? Am I yapping? I guess so. I'm not rapping though. Rapping would be more like, so what them implying, the teacher of a sing line, DJ in a A-mine, cock up in nose for the sting crowd, a king crime, wiki like St. James and Kingston, St. Catching crime. You know, it'll be along those lines. Well, Deco, guess what? You have to do what you have to do. Rome was not built in a day, and mountains were made to be climbed. So we have to do our part and get 10 to 12 points in these next 4 games. So that is exactly what we need to do. Robert Graham says you might fart. Okay, I guess that means that you've been eating a lot of beans today. I guess my recommendation is just to let it out. Yeah, just let it out. You know, there's no positive in holding it in. You just have to let it out. And even if you're on a date with a young lady and you fart, it's just a natural body function. If she decides to walk away from you, then she's probably not the right person from you. No, she's definitely not the right person to you. Forget about her. There'll be another nice young lady waiting for you. Yes, DECA 2K. September is our next game. September 6 against Cuba and September 10 against Honduras. So those games are two months from now or 8 weeks. That is correct. It will come, DECA 2K. Things don't happen overnight. Remember, we just had a hurricane here in Jamaica, right? I'm not sure which corner of the globe you are, but it takes things to happen. Remember, as I explained to you, you have a process where you do identification, you have a process of interviewing, you have a process of vetting, you have a process of going through the board. So if you had an expectation of an announcement tomorrow morning, then just remove that from your head, because that is not how the world of football works. Everything takes time in life, and it's as simple as that. So remove the unrealistic expectations and stop listening to gossip and stop listening to untruths and listen to facts and accurate information on this platform. Simple. It's as very, very simple as that. That's exactly. Well, Football Global, in order for us to get a friendly against England or Brazil, we'd need to be playing it inside a FIFA window. And again, realistically, when we'd have that opportunity in a FIFA window would be around March 2026. So let's qualify for the World Cup, and then we can arrange 2 high-profile friendlies in March 2026, because that is the next time that we'll have a FIFA window earmarked for friendlies. The only time we can arrange friendlies now is outside of the FIFA window, which therefore means that the opposition we'd face wouldn't have their best players available. Of course, runner sports, of course. The players understand that, staff understand that, and of course, by Jamaica, by extension, understands that as well. By you watching this video, you understand it now. You understand it clearly. And I've just explained what has happened. Why Jamaica is ranked where they are right now is because of results from the past. So now, what we do now affects the future. So that is why it's incredibly important, because remember, we spent 1 season in the CONCACAF Nations League in League B. We're in League A now. Brilliant. And we're going to continue up, and we got a medal. So moving up and up and up. And that is why it's so important, these 4 games, so that we continue to be highly ranked seeded and we can continue the progression. And the 3rd round of World Cup qualifying in terms of the group can be one that is manageable, kind, whatever adjective you want to use. Ronnie, I don't understand what you're saying in relation to the countries where players play. It's not down to the head coach of a national team to determine where a player plays. That's not his decision. I'm sure he can give advice, but at the end of the day, it is not his decision on that aspect of things. Absolutely. Absolutely, the technical committee can find a coach in a month. Absolutely. You make it seem like this is going to take 6 months. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yes, Ronnie, and look at the diversity of those leagues. Indeed, we have CONCACAF players playing in different parts of the globe, and so do we as Jamaica as well. We have players playing in England, France, Saudi Arabia. We have diversity as well, and it will only continue to be more diverse as well, because the Jamaica Premier League is continuing now to be. Jamaica Premier League matches are now available on Y-Scout, and Y-Scout is a platform where scouts, analysts can be able to watch games and footage now. So Jamaica Premier League matches are now open to a wider audience. Italy, Spain, Germany, France, Belgium, Holland, Portugal, you name it. Well, again, Ralston Bryan, this is not a process that happens overnight. I'm not sure where in the world you are watching, if it's Kingston, Jamaica, or Montego Bay, but let me tell you something. I was born in this country, okay? And let me reiterate to you that things do not happen overnight. Things take time, and you need to be patient, because it's going to come. It's something that is going to happen. So it's all about patience and understanding the title of this video, because once you understand the title of this video, then you know exactly why the results of these games affect the World Cup qualifiers next year. That is correct. Costa Rica did go to the quarterfinals in 2014. I haven't forgotten about that. Not the 3-1 victory over Uruguay, not the 0-0 draw against the English, not the 1-0 victory over the Italians, not the penalty shootout victory over the Greeks. So no, I have not forgotten about that at all. The United States, quarterfinals 2002. You think about the Mexicans, they've been a quarterfinalist 1970 and 1986. You know, Cuba, quarterfinalists 1938. So we've had CONCACAF teams that have competed in these tournaments. The United States, semi-finalists back in 1930. Yep, the United States have had that deep run before. Honduras, they've been to 3 World Cups, but they haven't won a game. Jamaica's been to a World Cup and won a game. That's right, we've won a game at a World Cup. Honduras have not. Neither have the Canadians. In fact, the Canadians have lost every game. Yeah. Jamaica have scored 3 goals at a World Cup. How much have Canada scored? Well, there's 1 own goal, and then you have Mr. Canada himself, Alfonso. Mr. Yee, that decision in particular lies with the technical committee. Well, put it this way, Football Global, it's not going to happen. You're not going to see a situation where the Caribbean separates itself from CONCACAF. Do I think that you could have competitions for Caribbean teams? Absolutely. I do think at some point we will have a Caribbean Cup in international football reignited. I do think we'll have that in a long-term future. I do believe that the Caribbean Cup will return, but never, ever, 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 ever will Caribbean teams leave CONCACAF and create their own confederation. It will not happen. It will not happen. Not at all. So you can remove that from your head. What are my thoughts about the idea? No, I'm not in favor of that idea either. I do like the CONCACAF region and the opportunities that it gives as well, because it's broader than just football and in terms of playing on the pitch. Do you know the opportunities that it gives to referees from Jamaica, being able to officiate games in North America and Central America? Do you know the opportunities that it also gives to different members of staff as well, to be able to play within the region, the travel as well? There are many countries within CONCACAF where Jamaicans don't need a visa to go to, such as Panama in particular as well. You start to set up a barricade now where Caribbean teams leave CONCACAF. You're setting yourself up for failure now, and you're creating division right there. And it's going to get political, and you're going to find that how difficult barriers are going to be as well. So I'm not in favor of it. I'm more than happy with remaining in CONCACAF. We could have additions in CONCACAF though. So I want you to prepare your mind. Saba, St. Eustatius will be joining CONCACAF soon. Not only then, Saint-Pierre and Miquelon, just an island south of Newfoundland, which is a province in Canada. Saint-Pierre and Miquelon, a French overseas collectivity. And Greenland, be prepared. Be prepared, because these 2 teams could enter CONCACAF starting the 2026-2027 CONCACAF Nations League. That's right, Greenland in CONCACAF. Imagine Jamaica against Greenland. That is more likely of happening than the Caribbean leaving CONCACAF. So put it that way. Okay, but it is a fact. What happens in the past affects the present. If you're going to sit down and eat Burger King every day for the next 30 days, you'll see in the present what it does. You perhaps have to get a different belt, or you need to alter the waist of your pants. But if you eliminate carbs from your diet for 1 month, you realize that, oh, I can tighten my belt a little bit more. And similarly, if we get these 4 wins, September and October, we're going to say, oh, the FIFA rankings looks pretty. And it looks like we're not going to play Panama and Costa Rica in the 3rd round of World Cup qualifying. So again, the present affects the future, and the past affects the present. Never forget that. Let that always, 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 always stay with you. Let that always stay with you. Let that always, always, always stay with you. Warren Ressa says, blessing, Simon just got off the road. Okay, you just got off the road. Okay, cool. How was your day? How are things? Hope you're doing well. The main priority. Yes, Roniam, and how do we get to the World Cup? Consistency, good results, right? And that is why this Nations League is so important. Because good results in this Nations League means that Jamaica will have a third round of World Cup qualifying group with Jamaica, El Salvador, Trinidad and Tobago, and Suriname. But if Jamaica gets 9 points or less, then Jamaica could have a group looking like this. Panama, Jamaica, El Salvador, Curacao, you heard that? Panama, El Salvador, Jamaica, Curacao. And that is why this Nations League is incredibly important. Defines us. Incredibly, incredibly important. Well, Ronnie M., that is why it is important to get these results. Yes, Ralston Bryan, September 6th against Cuba, the game will be in Kingston. September 6th against Cuba, the game will be in Kingston. So yes, that is correct. All right, so that you are aware. No, they've never been easy to face, Mr. Galaxy, but we've won 3 of our last 3 games against Honduras, beat them home and away in the World Cup qualifiers, and we also defeat them as well in the Nations League 1-0, thanks to Demarai Gray scoring on his home debut. So, that is the person. Well, Javane Robinson, if you're talking in relation to the World Cup qualifier against the Dominican Republic on June 6th, I'm not sure if you heard the interview by the president of the Jamaica Football Federation, Michael Ricketts, but he made the point that that decision lies with the board. He can't just make a decision on behalf of the board. He said that it was a decision that he would have with the board. And bearing in mind that a decision has not made publicly, that means that it's not something that the board has unanimously agreed upon. Chromiac. Well, it depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about FIFA ranking, then it's 53. If you're talking about the CONCACAF rankings, then it's 6th. Warren Webster, everything in time, man. As I was saying earlier, don't have any expectation that tomorrow morning you're just going to see a press release or hear a name. This is a process that takes time. You have a process of identifying, vetting, analyzing, interviewing, recommendation to the board, decision made by the board, and then the announcement. So I've just highlighted 5 to 6 steps that take place before the public even being aware who the next individual is. So it's going to require time, and it's going to require patience. So again, don't come with unrealistic expectations. Be aware that a decision will come. It's something that is going to happen. It's just not going to be overnight. And that's how the world of football is. Things don't take place overnight. Yes, Ralston Bryan, the first match is September 6th against Cuba in Kingston. September 6th against Cuba in Kingston. All right. Football Global, I appreciate your kind words towarding me. However, you need to think about stability. You need to think about stability and what it means for players as well. So that is why continuity is so important for staff as well. So I wouldn't subscribe with 80% of that message that you sent. It is important to keep the continuity with staff. Javane Robinson, I responded to this question. Looked like it is the second time that you asked it. Omar Blake, I am the team media officer, so I don't understand your question. I am team media officer, so I don't understand the question. Why would that change? I don't understand the question. Ronnie says you would like to see French department. What do you mean? You want to see Guadeloupe and Martinique playing be FIFA members? I don't think you're ever going to see that, because because Martinique and Guadeloupe are technically France. So if they fought for independence, that's the only way that they could become FIFA members. But realistically, I don't think in our lifetimes that we'll ever get to see Martinique, Guadeloupe, or French Guyana ever become FIFA members. Ever. We'll never see that in our lifetime. I promise you of that. Course Corny says Jamaica versus Greenland, home and away. That'll be a good game. Yes, Mr. Galaxy, and as you're aware, 3 years ago, I did a video on this very platform regarding Greenland entering as a new team in CONCACAF, and also Saint-Pierre Miquelon as well. Shark fermented. I don't understand what you're saying. Football. I don't understand what you're saying. Again, Javane Robinson, I answered this question. This is the 3rd time I'm seeing the message in the chat, and I have answered it. Yeah, Ronnie, I'm Guadeloupe, Martinique, French Guyana. I don't see it happening. Yes, Mario, big up. Greenland, though, they're not FIFA members, because remember, Greenland is a part of Denmark. So Greenland can be CONCACAF members, but not FIFA members. Just like Martinique, Guadeloupe, French Guyana, they're CONCACAF members. So they can play in Gold Cup, they can play in Nations League, but they can't compete in World Cup qualifying. So just similarly with Greenland as well, Greenland will never be in a World Cup unless they perhaps get independence from Denmark. Again, Javane Robinson, for the 4th time I answered this question. It is, Ronnie, great preparation, because you're looking at things and you have 4 solid windows before the British Virgin Islands game and the game against Guatemala, because you're talking 2 games in September, 2 games in October. November, you have the quarterfinals, home and away, and of course, March next year, you have the semifinals, final, 3rd place playoffs. So that's potentially 8 games. 8 games before the next set of World Cup qualifiers. That's a solid number of games for whoever it is in charge to be able to look at the pieces and say, okay, this works or that works, or we could try this, so tremendously great things. What do you mean, how will this affect the team? Look, how will this... That's why I said what I said earlier as well, Warren Webster, where I answered the question to Football Global, where you need the continuity that is there with the staff, because once you have that same continuity, smooth transition for the new coach who's coming in, he's observing, he's seeing the different routines and understands this is the routine when it comes to massages, this is what happens when it comes to media obligations, this is what happens when it comes to managerial duties, this is what travel is like, this is what this experience is like. So all of that into fruition. Yes, true culture. Jamaica has been a FIFA member since independence in 1962. Jamaica became a member of FIFA after getting independence. It's a different thing, Mr. Galaxy, because Martinique, Guadeloupe, and French Guiana, they are part of France. Cayman Islands, Bermuda, British Virgin Islands, Montserrat, they're not part of England. They are overseas territories. They're not part of England, which is a massive difference versus Guadeloupe, Martinique, French Guiana are part of France. Just like US Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Guam, American Samoa are not the United States of America. They're territories of the United States of America, which is a big difference. Lanza Blake says, checking in. Big up, Reggae Boys commentary. Big up. Tafari, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? 2024 has been a year that we have never experienced in 7 years, winning our first ever medal. We have 6 points out of 6 in World Cup qualifying. We scored our first ever goal in the Copa America competition. We have an opportunity to be able to increase our chances to qualify for the World Cup by splendid performances within the Nations League that is coming up in September and October as well. So process that for a moment. Process that. The strides that have been making, the improvements that have been made, because you clearly see the improvement that has been made. Look at the CONCACAF Rankings Index and the gap between the team that is third and where Jamaica is right now in 6th position. 12 points in the Nations League and we're up to being third in CONCACAF and being in the 40s in the rankings. It's as simple as that. So that is why it is important that we listen and we think before we speak. That's why it is incredibly important. Yes, Deca2K, I guess you don't live in Jamaica, Deca2K. Where are you watching this video from, Deca2K? Because if you are living in Jamaica, then I guess you wouldn't have seen the comments by the Sports Minister, Olivia Grange. She spoke recently at the Ray Nephew launch for the Jamaica Premier League for next campaign, and she spoke the work that has already been gone and the lights that have arrived in the island and the work that has been put in. Do you live in Jamaica or do you live outside of Jamaica? Because this was big in the news on June 10 and June 11. Commonwealth, you guess? Yes, Ronnie M. CONCACAF are third in the CONCACAF Rankings Index. Mexico is first, United States is second, Canada is third, Panama is fourth, Costa Rica is fifth, and Jamaica is sixth. Fanaminion, Jamaica are sixth in the CONCACAF Rankings Index, but 53rd in the FIFA World Rankings. Well, Warren Webster, I guess you didn't read the article in the newspaper, what Mr. Speed said in relation to what you're looking for in terms of the new coach. It would be a smooth transition. It wouldn't be somebody that is, you're going from one end of the earth to another. It's not somebody on a different wavelength. You know, Mr. Speed, if you read the article today, spoke about modern coach and the values and so on. So it would not be a culture shock for the players and staff when the new person comes in. Well, Tafari, I'm sure you can be able to answer that question as well, because I'm sure you went to school and know the difference between a public limited company and also a private limited company. I'm sure you know the difference. A public limited company is listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, and to the best of my knowledge, when you go to the Jamaica Stock Exchange, I don't see the JFF as a stock on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. But I'm sure you studied business and management in school, so I'm sure you would know very much so. Yes, very much so, Ronnie M. The only difference is, in September and October, Jamaica will be playing 4 competitive games, while Canada, Panama, USA, and Mexico will not be playing in the Nations League because they already have a bye to the quarterfinals, versus Jamaica, who have 4 competitive games. Competitive games are more points than friendlies. So, again, for persons like Fana Miniot and others, that's why what you do now affects the future, and what you did in the past affects the present. So the results now, incredibly, 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 incredibly important to the future, because it will determine Jamaica's seeding for the World Cup qualifying, for the third round of World Cup qualifying. It'll also be important for Jamaica's seeding for the Gold Cup as well in 2025 and beyond. It will also impact, as you know, by moving up in the index, it'll also ensure that Jamaica gets a bye from the group stage for future editions of the tournament itself. So that's why all of this together is incredibly important. Makes a lot of sense? Yeah, I'm sure that you all. Absolutely not, Mr. Webster. Absolutely not, because you're aware how close we are to World Cup qualifying again. 11 months. And I'm sure you know how close we are as well to the World Cup itself. 1 year and 11 months, or 1 year, 10 months and change. So it shows you how close we are. So it won't be a haphazard decision. It won't be a choice that is out and up in the blue. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Declan Stennett, again, I'll answer the question before and I'll answer it again. Don't expect it anytime soon, because it's a process that needs time. You have a process of identifying, you have a process of vetting, you have a process of interviewing, you have a process of recommendation to the board, you have a decision that is made as well, and then you have a press release and press conference. So those right there are 5 to 6 steps that take place. So it's not going to take place overnight. And remember, we're just getting back on our feet here in Jamaica. Electricity is back. We can send emails now. So again, I'm not sure which part of the world you live in, but we take time with things in Jamaica, and you need to accept that. All right? Things take time in Jamaica. And just like everything else in time, it comes. So that's why patience is incredibly important. Well, Tafari, I appreciate your kind words in relation to how you feel about my experience and expertise in football. I do appreciate it. At this point in time, all I can do is do my best and trust that everything will fall into place in due time. I just left my 20s and entered the next chapter of my life, so I'm just in growing, getting experience, being the best human being that I can for myself, and trust that everything will fall into place in time. Enough respect, Richard Green, big up. That is correct, Ronnie M. It has started. 6 months reasonable for what, Declan Stennett? We will have a new coach. We will have an announcement before the Cuba game. Yep, Rome was not built in a day. Absolutely, Fanaminat. Absolutely. Just like that. I've said this in 4 previous lives, and I'm going to say it again. Don't expect an announcement tomorrow morning. Don't expect an announcement 2 days from now, or 3 days from now, or 4 days from now. And look how much times I've proved you right. I told you guys that we did not have no friendly match against China to play in June. I told you as well that we had no friendly match against Chile last year, June. I said it was Jordan and Austria, and I was correct. I told you guys the squad for the World Cup qualifiers would be announced 1 week, well, 6 days before the game, and guess what? It happened. I told you that the Copa America squad would be announced on a Wednesday, and guess what? It also happened as well. So this platform right here, accuracy, reliability, credibility, and positivity, right here, that is something that has never changed. Never changed. So I'm sorry, this is not your place for pasa pasa. This is not your place for cas. This is not your place for drama. This is your place for accuracy and also positivity in relation to Jamaican football. I'm a Jamaican and I want to see things to continue to improve. And if you're on this journey with me, you hit that like button, you hit that subscribe button, and you use the super chat feature to continue the growth of this platform as well. It is very simple like that. Okay? If you want facts, this is the place to come. If you want accurate information, this is the place to come. Simple as that. I'm feeling good, Warren. I think it is a good squad. I think it's a really good squad, and we tested ourselves against 2 powerful teams in South America. 2 teams I'm sure will be at the World Cup in 2 years from now, Ecuador and Venezuela. 2 high-quality teams where we went toe-to-toe with. Could have gotten a result against Mexico as well. So all of these signs should have been encouraging. We can't be just thinking black and white about, oh, the result alone. We played in a competition that was outside of our confederation. Who knows if we'll ever play in a Copa America again, because we're not a CONMEBOL team. We're a CONCACAF team. We're not a CONMEBOL team, we're a CONCACAF team. So if they decide to expand it again in 2028, we'll see. But for now, don't be black and white and just think, oh, about the results. How did we play? Despite the decisions that did not go our way, especially against Ecuador. You can feel encouraged. And that should be every sign in the world to show to you that we will be on the plane in 2026, that we will be at the World Cup, that we will be producing moments like what Morocco did 2 years ago, or like what England did in 2018, or like what the Dutch did 2014, or like what the Uruguayans did 2010, or what Ukraine did 2006, or what Turkey did 2002, or what Croatia did 98, or what Sweden and Bulgaria did 94. All right? So don't question what I've said. All right, I'm younger than everybody watching this video right now, and I've just spoken from here about those experiences of past teams in the World Cup. So when I say something, I saw it go. I eat that. All right, and it is as simple as that. Jerome 876 says, bless up. See what I'm saying? Even Jerome says, me just get back light. You see what I'm saying? Even Jerome just got back light. Even Jerome just got back light. I got back light 48 hours ago. Privileged, grateful to God to. And you still have another 250,000 Jamaicans still to get back light. So again, folks, be patient. Be patient. Absolutely, Tafari. I do my best to always be accurate. That's why, Mr. Galaxy, Simon Preston is better than Wikipedia, because I'm a trusted source. Wikipedia, there's inaccuracies. And you have people going and reporting things that we have friendly match against China and Chile. Listen, Simon Preston is a person to speak to. So you use the super chat feature, you use the super thanks, you hit the like button, you hit the subscribe button. It's as simple as that. Was it a pre-World Cup promo? I don't understand what you're saying, Mr. Webster. Was me reciting the teams that had good runs in previous World Cup, was that a promo? Is that what you're saying? Do I know Iran? Yes, I know Iran. I know Tehran. I think Iran used to be called Persia. Iran went to the World Cup in 1998, 2006, 2014, 2018, and 2022. Iran has had some interesting results as well. You remember them defeating Morocco in the 2018 World Cup 1-0, and then they fell 1-0 to Spain, and then they drew at Portugal, got 4 points but missed out on the next round. Iran went and defeat Wales in the last World Cup. And Iran beat the USA in 98. 2006, there was that 1-1 draw with Angola. You see, guys, I'm saying everything off the top of my head right here. No internet. Just everything right here. So when I talk football, I know exactly what I'm speaking about. I speak information, I speak facts. All right? I don't run and no. Because what I'm speaking is factual. That's right. Mr. Galaxy is in his 40s. Interesting logic there, Fana Mignot. Interesting logic there. But again, persons were mesmerized by the era of Barcelona with Pep Guardiola and feel like that is how Jamaica should play. When you have a culture in Spain we don't have a Spanish culture, and we have not had a Spanish culture since 1655s, or give or take till the 1700s as well, because during the time when England took over from Spanish rulership here, there was some Spanish remnants here, but we haven't had a Spanish influence of Jamaica in 300-400 years. So how can you expect that to be the case? No, I do not support Barcelona. I have no Spanish heritage either. If you've pointed out a Jamaican with the surname Gonzalez Rodriguez that has Spanish heritage, fine. But no, I'm not a Barcelona fan. No, absolutely not. The first Manchester United game included Barcelona, yeah. Swink Warren Jesus Football Encyclopedia, yeah. Well, Nightingale, as you would have seen in the articles in the newspaper, it's going to take time. So don't expect no announcement tomorrow morning or this week or next week. But in time. That is correct. Yes, Warren G, big up. Tennyson Lambert is Simon up. You're the best, all facts, not a bag of mouth. Need my own sports program. Reggae Boys commentary. Speak Spanish? Sí, hablo español. Puedo hablar español, francés, inglés y jamaiquino. Pero mi jamaiquino es muy divertido. Por ejemplo, las palabras en jamaiquino es más fácil que en inglés. Again, Tafari, I'm going to reiterate the point that I appreciate your commendation in terms of your thoughts about my ability. I appreciate that, and I want you to, and I'm going to leave it there. Yes, Ricky. It's clear in terms of the defensive stability. Absolutely clear, I'm sure. And I know about the Soca Warriors as well from the days of Arnold Dwarka and company, 8-time Caribbean Cup champions Trinidad and Tobago, Nigel Pierre, Elcock, Avery John, Stern John, Dwight York. I've seen days where Trinidad and Tobago has defeated Panama 7-0. I've seen days where Trinidad and Tobago defeated Canada 4-0 and 2-0 respectively. I've witnessed days where Trinidad and Tobago has defeated Guatemala home and away. You know, we've seen some interesting moments in Trinidad football, going to the semi-finals in the Gold Cup in 2000. So Trinidad has had some compelling days as well. Of course, their last title being in 2001. And I've often said that Trinidad and Tobago, they're like the Scousers of the Caribbean, while Jamaica are like Manchester United in the Caribbean. And I'll explain why. Because Liverpool, of course, their last title prior to COVID was 1990. And Trinidad's last Caribbean Cup was 2001. And of course, there's been the dominance from Manchester United and Sir Alex bam 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 bam, and it was with Jamaica as well. Jamaica with the Caribbean Cup bam 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 2005, 2008, 2010, 2014. So that's why I say that Trinidad are like the Scousers of the Caribbean, even in the way that they speak as well. Because, you know, the Trinidadian accent is up and down and all of them things. They're like, and the man them dotish and all of them sitting there. It's just like in Liverpool because they talk up and down and they say like all of those things. Like, and that's why I said Jamaica is like the Manchester in terms of the how we speak in patois is very, yo, brother, wagwan, you're good. So it's like chop, 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 chop. And it's the same with Manchester. Do you know what I mean? Like, because when we're back home in Manchester, we say things just the way we want it. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I say it's similar in that sort of aspect of things. That's why I would compare Jamaican to being like Mancunian and Trinidadian to be like a Scouser. So that's the reason why I use that in particular. No OG Kush, no, before the Nations League. Wendy says, we appreciate the fact, Simon. We need max points. We all need to remain focused for the game. Oh, thank you, Wendy. That is appreciated. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. That is greatly appreciated, Wendy. Thank you for your support, and even during the Copa America as well, you being able to bring your flag into the stadium, and can't believe they gave Wendy a hard time with the flag, but that has been solved. All solved. Yes, they have Ronnie M. Yes, they have. Canada had a group with Peru, Chile, Argentina, Finished second, defeat Venezuela. Yep, good for Canada. Good for them. Well, this is what we're seeing right now, isn't it? Swink Warren. That's what we're doing right now. That's what we're doing right now, isn't it? But yeah, this is, in a sense, a podcast, you would say, with this information here. I can tell you about the first time we defeat the United States. I can tell you about the last time we beat a South American team in 2016. I can tell you about the Gold Cup run 2023 and how historic that was, recording our biggest ever win in Gold Cup history. Or we can talk about Jamaica's biggest win in football history, period, which was that 12-0 victory over St. Martin in November 24, 2004. You remember that? Luton Shelton scoring 4 goals on his international debut to date. No man in international football has scored 4 goals on his international debut. Just put that into perspective, all right, for one moment. Just put that into context for 1 minute. The only man in football history to score 4 goals on his international debut is not a Brazilian, is not an Argentine, is not a German, is not a Dutchman, is not a Frenchman, is not a Spaniard, is not an Englishman. It's a Jamaican. It's a Jamaican. Just process that for a moment, people. And you're telling me that you're not proud to be Jamaican? And you're telling me you're not proud of what we have done as a nation in football and the amount of things we have to come as well? The things that we have to achieve as well, the things that are coming in our way, the things that are going to happen, things that will happen, and you're not proud of your history? The first man to score 4 goals on his international debut is a Jamaican. A Jamaican. Not French, Dutch, English, Spanish, Romanian. A Jamaican. A Jamaican. All right? Again, this is not the platform for you if you want cas or pasa. This is your place when you're getting information. You love your country, you hit the subscribe button. So yeah, big up yourself, RWD Wizard. Yeah, Machine Man, it's non-league football, so in a national league, I think that they don't train every day. I think they train every other day. I think that's the difference with the national league. But yeah, it's an interesting move. It's a London club, and certainly I wish him all the best on the next chapter. I think this might be his last club of his career, and then he'll continue his badges club-wise, but he has been starting his coaching credentials and has been doing well. So certainly I'm wishing Adrian all the best on the next chapter of his career. He's had a distinguished career, playing 9 seasons in the Premier League, playing in 2 FA Cup finals, being part of 3 Gold Cup squads, and also being part of 2 Copa America squads, winning a medal for Jamaica, silver medal in the Gold Cup in 2015 as well. So when you look at what he has done, he's been part of the Jamaican team that beat the USA for the first time in history, home and away. He's also been part of Jamaican teams that first ever point at the Azteca. So Maps has had a distinguished career with Jamaica, and you could write an entire book about what that journey has been like. 3 Gold Cups, 2 Copa America appearances, a silver medal for Jamaica, being able to play and win some high-profile games, play against the likes of France, Switzerland, USA, Canada, Mexico, Egypt. Maps has played some really high-profile games. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Galaxy, I hope so as well. That's why when the Caribbean Cup comes back, Jamaica wins 3 more, and Jamaica is the most successful team in Caribbean Cup history. Pristine says, Simon, how many can you speak? How many languages? English, French, Spanish, Portuguese, Patois. Portuguese is the weakest of the 5. My Patois is stronger than my Portuguese. Yeah, and Ronnie M, you know what's interesting about the semifinals for the Euros as well? Because it's Spain, France, and it's England, Netherlands. So the 4 teams that are left are the 4 colonizers of the Caribbean. Because if you think about it, the English, French, Spanish, and the Dutch, they were the 4 colonizers of the Caribbean. And if we're being, the 4 colonizers of the Caribbean and North America, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So when you're looking at the CONCACAF region, those are the 4 places that colonized the Western world, if you want to call it that. The English, French, Dutch, Spanish. So it's quite compelling in that sense. That's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw these 4 teams. And I don't think we've ever had a semi-final 4 with England, Dutch, Spain, and France. I don't think we've ever had a European semi-final with those 4 teams. So that's the thing that stands out the most to me. But I guess you're referring more to what I think the result will be. And yeah, England-France final will be nice, yeah. Yeah, man, England-France final, and yeah. Yeah, that'll be good. England-France final. Yeah. Shomar Gordon says, up, Mr. P, up. What are you doing? Argentina versus Canada and Colombia, Uruguay will be interesting. Yeah, I'm going to predict a Argentina-Colombia final, and I'm going to go with Colombia to win the Copa America. Colombia is on this really impressive run, so I'm going to have Argentina-Colombia final and Colombia to win the Copa America. You heard it here, folks. Colombia to win the Copa America. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Little but with Alawa. What Jamaican is that? That's Luton Shelton, Matic. That's Luton Shelton. You really should know that, honestly. If you consider yourself a Jamaican and a lover of football, you really should know that. It's Luton Shelton. Luton Shelton scored 4 goals on his international debut. Yeah. Warren Webster says, I have a cousin who's fluent for Gibson champion, but it's good to have a wider knowledge of the second most spoken language in the region. Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the current round, the second round of World Cup qualifying? Yeah, even with Trinidad's draw, yeah, I think Trinidad will still have enough to get through their group. Well, OG Kush, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Give it time. It will happen. Siobhan Pierce says, what's up? Just get back light at home. You see what I'm saying, folks? You have persons that are just getting back light in Jamaica. And the storm was Wednesday, Thursday. I got back light on Friday. Friday, I got back my electricity. And you have some people today that is getting it back. So again, let me reiterate, in Jamaica, we take our time to do things, so be patient. Football Global says, Harbourview, Luton, Shelton. Yeah, Siobhan Pierce, I know you tuned in late, so let me just wrap up an hour and 18 minutes in a nutshell for you. What you do in the past affects the present. What you do in the present affects the future. The CONCACAF Nations League in the September and October windows are incredibly important to Jamaica's footballing future. Getting 10 to 12 points in these next 4 games in the group stage of the CONCACAF Nations League will ensure that we remain in the top 6 in CONCACAF and in the top 3 in CONCACAF in relation to those teams competing in World Cup qualifying. Why is it so important that we remain in the top 3 in CONCACAF of those teams competing in World Cup qualifying? So that we can avoid the likes of Panama and Costa Rica in the 3rd qualifying round. So that is why it is incredibly important that we get 10 to 12 points within the next 4 games in our CONCACAF Nations League. And by doing that, we avoid the likes of playing Panama and Costa Rica within the final round of World Cup qualifying. Okay? So just summarize that a little bit for you. I guess that's a way to look at it. Machine Man says, I have a friend in SVG who still has not gotten back light. Wow, look at that. King J says, big up, General. Big up. Hope you're doing well. OG, I'm not 40. OG Kush, I'm not 40 years old. In fact, I just turned 30. So, yeah. I think the FIFA Constitution says you have to be 40. Siobhan Peart, yeah, I hope we will get the 12 points. Yeah, so I just wanted to summarize that for you in a nutshell, Siobhan Peart. Just wanted to summarize that for you in a nutshell so that you are aware of everything, all right? So that you're aware of things. Curtis Carney, you've hit the nail right on the head. That's how I think it will be. I have Colombia to win the Copa America, and I have England to win the Euros. So that is exactly how I have things as well. Colombia are in this incredible unbeaten run that I don't see ending until they actually get to the World Cup in 2026. That's how long I have them for this run. Colombia are a formidable force. Formidable. So yeah. Condolences, Siobhan Peart. Condolences. Final minute. Again, you have to listen carefully what I was saying. What I was speaking right now was about Nations League. In the Nations League, we have 4 games in the group stage. We have Cuba at home, Honduras away, Nicaragua away, Honduras at home. That's 4 games, okay? What you're talking about is the second round of World Cup qualifying. We have 2 more games in that, and that is June next year. Well, Ronnie M, we'll see what the future holds. But again, I appreciate the commendation of everybody within the chat. I appreciate it very much. So I appreciate the commendation of everyone within the chat. But please let us be respectful at all times, okay? And we throw all of our love and support behind those in power and get to 2026 and qualify for the World Cup and continue doing these great things. Wendy says Spain for Euro. What? Wendy, come on. Spain? No. Well, Tevin Campbell, 2 wins away from the trophy. So what are you going to say about that? Oh. Siobhan says, oh, my friend. Yeah, man. Yeah, great things he has done. How many Jamaican coaches consider they won a medal with Jamaica? How many coaches, honestly, think about it. How many coaches consider they left Jamaica with a medal? Bora Milutinovic? No. Sebastian Lazzaroni? No. Winfred Schaefer? Yep. Caribbean Cup 2014, gold medal, and the Gold Cup silver medal in 2015. Clovis de Oliveira? No. Bernie Samois? Yep. Hamer Helgrimson? Yes. Tapa Whitmore. 3 coaches have won medals for Jamaica. So Hamer Helgrimson will always be etched in Jamaican football history. The first time we ever won a medal in the Nations League came under Coach Helgrimson. So he will always have a place in Jamaican football history. Always. Spain, Wendy. Really? And I have so much respect for you. Spain. Gross. Spain. With their tiki-taka nonsense. Spain. And how old are you, Ronnie M? Because if you possess this information, then that basically means that you're a scientist. Alright, so Siobhan Peart, you're gonna call me? Yes, correct, Chris. Always, Cornif, always. And it's so funny because when Portugal won the Euros in 2016, they only won 1 game in 90 minutes. And England has only won 1 game in 90 minutes as well, and that was the first game against Serbia. Huh. France haven't scored a goal from open play. Huh. But yeah, Spain needs to go home. Spain needs to go home just like what Morocco did to them 2 years ago. And just like what the Italians did 3 years prior to that. And what Russia did in 2018 to them. And what Chile did to them in 2014. Yeah, we need to send Spain home. Send Spain home. Send them home. You're good, Wendy. It's just the team that you like to win the Euros, I guess. Ronnie says he has access to the internet. But you guys see how Ronnie dodged the question, right? Because I asked him how old he is, but the man say him have internet. So once you have internet, that means you have age. Oh boy, some people are sample, you know. Some people are real sample because they want to ask you a question, but when that question is, they get asked the question, you can't hear from them none at all, you know. Not even a little bit you can hear from them. Boy, I'm telling you. So I go. Some people stay. Spain has potential with Yamal. Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, okay. Play. But yeah, let's Spain not win anything else, okay? They won Euros back to back, they won a World Cup. They finished third in a Confederations Cup, they finished second in a Confederations Cup. They won a Women's World Cup. Look, Spain has done everything, all right? They've been champions of Europe in club football. So much, they have 2 of the 3 biggest clubs in the world. So, honestly, Spain has done enough. Let them go into a cave now for like 50 years or until Armageddon, whichever comes first. Yeah. I would just enjoy Jamaica. Yeah, it'll be nice. Jamaica versus Spain, first game of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Oh, good game. And you know what the title in the newspaper will be like? Former colonizers against the team from the New World, the Reggae Boys. The former colonizers, for the first time since I have the script written, for the first time since 1655. The former colonizers meet Jamaica for the first time. It was an Englishman named Oliver Cromwell that led the seas of Jamaica from Spanish rulership. So for the first time in 350 years, Jamaica and Spain meet once again. For 161 years on Jamaican soil, the Spanish came for the sugar. Now they meet once again, and Jamaica will be looking to take from the Spanish this time around. Not in gold, not in silver, not in bronze, not in sugar, but in 3 precious points. That's the script. That's the script when we take on Spain in the World Cup in 2026. And you know what's going to happen? Joel Latibeaudiere is going to score the winner. And then big headlines in the newspaper. Spanish are going to say, oh, this is a shock. What happened? And then Jamaica will go say, bop, 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 bop. You'll see, just remember I told you. Just clip this up from now. Clip me up. Take this part of the video out now and post it after we beat Spain in the World Cup in 2 years from now. Just mark those words, okay? Thanks, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. All right? Great things on the horizon, okay? One step at a time, one day at a time. Thank you all for tuning in. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button to Reggae Boys Commentary right now for more. The under-20s are coming up. July 19, the ball gets rolling. Jamaica against the United States. 3 days later, Jamaica against Costa Rica. And then Jamaica against Cuba, sorry. So the under-20s are coming up quite soon. I believe CONCACAF should be showing it on their channels. They should. But guys, be safe. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary right now. Hit that subscribe button. Check out the shorts as well. Okay? Cool.